A ski boat costs about $5,700 a year to operate, and that's after the purchase price. A cruiser, on the other hand, is going to cost you about $13,400 a year to operate. On paper, this conversation's over. The ski boat wins. But I'm here to tell you the spreadsheets are lying to you, and in the next 13 minutes, I'm going to prove it to you. All right, so let's get this ladder on the board here. I want to give you some context. So this is just a ladder of progression, and I'm trying to share with you guys what we experienced. It all started with the 12-foot aluminum, baby. That thing was fun. Then we moved to the ski boat that didn't work. Then we moved to more ski boats. Then we went to the 27-foot Sea Ray cruiser. Twin screws, baby. 5.0 Mercs, ton of bay line runs in that bad boy, which gave us the need for the 32-foot bay liner, baby. And that began our ocean passages. Now I'm going to show you three things: the real cost, the real value, and the one thing I wish somebody would have told me before I bought a ski boat. Okay, so we've got our ski boat versus our cruiser. So let's have some fun with this, guys, right? Ski boat versus cruiser. Who's gonna win? So the purchase price on the ski boat, that's $8K, baby. What's it gonna cost to run this ski boat a year? On average, I'm gonna say $1,250. I'm basing this on, say, 6 major outings in your boat, and then, say 20 or 30 kind of sunset bebop cruises. What about the storage on the ski boat? What is that costing you? $2,640 on the storage of the ski boat. And that breaks down to, that's based on $220 a month. What about insurance? Insurance is $600 a year. What about maintenance? Well, I'll put that at about $1,200 a year. So the year one total on the ski boat is $13,690. How about the second year on the ski boat? How much is that? That's $5,690. So, that first year you have that purchase price you got to get through. Then you've got your second year, just your annual maintenance, baby. Let's move on to the cruiser. The cruiser was $10,000. But what about the fuel? Fuel was $3,000. And this is again based on running 560 gallons at about $5.50 a gallon. Storage. What's storage costing you on that cruiser? $4,800 on average. That breaks down to $400 a month. What about insurance? What is insurance costing you? $1,600. Maintenance? $4K, baby. So let's look at these totals now. Year one on the cruiser, $23,400. And that's for the first year on the cruiser. What about the second year? $13,400. So the cruiser costs more, obviously, almost $8,000 more a year. But is this conversation over? Did this ski boat win? Not even close. There's something in this spreadsheet that isn't being captured. A ski boat only serves you when it's running. The moment you turn that engine off, pull that thing out of the water, the value is over. It's a trailer queen waiting for its next outing. Now a cruiser, I can take my cruiser and cruise from the California Delta into the San Francisco Bay in about 7 hours. Dock at the San Francisco Marina on Friday and walk to the Giants game Friday night. Saturday night, I've got a home base in one of the best cities in the world, and then I cruise home Sunday. The boat was parked the whole weekend, but I gotta tell you, that's the best $200 I can ever imagine spending in slip fees. Now, a ski boat can't do that at just about any price. So the real question isn't what it costs. The real question is what it costs per experience. Now let's run that math. All right, so we've got a little bit different of a diagram here now, and we've got ski boat versus cruiser, but we've got our annual cost, $5,690 on the ski boat, and then the annual cost on the cruiser, $13,400. Of course, that doesn't include the purchase price. Then we put the days on the water, 30 to 40 on your ski boat, maybe 60 to 90 on the cruiser. So what does that break out to cost per day? So cost per day on the ski boat, that breaks out to $170. What about the cruiser? $165. Serves you when you're parked? I'm going to say no on the ski boat. Cruiser? That's a yes. So what's this cost advantage? Ski boat? I'm going to say there is no cost advantage. How about that cruiser? You definitely have a cost advantage. You've got a hotel, a headquarters, a base camp. When you account for cost of days per use, the cruiser roughly costs the same as the ski boat. But only one of these can be your hotel in the big city. Only one of these has a kitchen, a bed, and a deck. The spreadsheet lied to you. Okay, so we've got a lot of great numbers on the board here, but ultimately this is going to really come down to 3 questions. 3 questions before you decide. How many days a year do you realistically want to be on the water? Under 20 days? The ski boat's probably going to win, baby. Over 30 days, that cruiser math really starts to compound and make sense. Question 2. Do you want the boat to be a destination, or is it merely a vehicle to go somewhere? If the experience starts and continues when you arrive somewhere, you need a cruiser, baby. If the experience is the ride, the ski boat works. And then question 3. Do you have people in your life that will actually use the cruiser with you? A cruiser without a crew and friends and family to cruise it with is ultimately just a really expensive slip occupier. Now answer these 3 questions honestly. Write them down. Don't just buy based on what sounds cool. Buy basing it on what your life actually looks like. All right. Now I told you at the start, there was one thing I wish somebody had told me. The thing that would have changed everything. And now here it is. I just wish I had done it sooner. A ski boat and a cruiser, they're in the same universe, but they're entirely different worlds, baby. A cruiser opened my eyes in how I can turn boating into more than just a daily sport in dealing with friends that forgot to offer to pay for fuel. When it gets to be about that magic hour, 5 p.m., when all the weekend warrior ski boats have headed home, that's when my anchor drops, baby. We tend to start melting into the nature. We become one with the fish, the water, the birds. And then, usually just then, is when we all come together and start laying out the plans for our next big adventure. For the most part, that just doesn't exist with a ski boat. That's the one thing I wish somebody had told me sooner. So are you looking at buying a boat? Or are you looking at buying a bigger boat? I built a free toolkit. Check the link down below. It's a complete checklist, cost calculators, every question you should ask before a single dollar is put down. But if you're looking at boats in that $50,000 to say $250,000 range, check out the boat buying blueprint below. Let's go boating, baby.